All right, want to welcome everyone to our monthly opportunities and HIT session. We hold these sessions each month, giving local professionals and health information management and health information technology just share their career path and answer the questions of students. So this month we have with us Japera Denson. Thank you so much for joining us. She is the HIT program director over at is it Florida Gateway College? Did I get that right? And also has vast experience in the profession prior to becoming an educator. So Japera, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Banta. And again, welcome to everyone who has joined in so far. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have a very simple presentation for you all today, but more so I'll be doing the talking, and I guess I'll just flash this little visual up so you'll have something else to look at instead of the background of my office. So let me get that going here. And someone just give me kind of a thumbs up or something if you can see this.
Yep, we can see it.
Perfect. So again, my name is Japera Denson. I am the Health Information Technology Program Coordinator here at Florida Gateway College. We are located in the wonderful, huge metropolis of Lake City, Florida, where all of the wonderful things happen in Florida. And so actually we're really a small rural area, but I like to make us sound really big. So I've been here at Florida Gateway since 2015. I started out as an adjunct instructor, but full-time in my current role since 2018. And I do want to get into that a little bit and share a little bit of my story and my background with you, and hopefully inspire you all and give you some momentum or some type of takeaways. So I want to start with my educational background. I am actually, after I graduated high school, I came to Florida Gateway, which at that time was Lake City Community College. So since then, we've had a name change. We've gone through a lot of great improvements, but back then we were Lake City Community College, and I started out as a nursing major, and I got my AA in nursing, and that was my community college experience. I then transferred to Florida A&M University to complete my bachelor's degree. And I got my bachelor's degree in health informatics and information management from FAMU, the one and only. And then I got my master's degree from St. Leo University. And now I am at Florida A&M University again, obtaining a PhD in educational leadership. And I'm super excited about it. I'm a second-year doctoral student, and the journey is phenomenal. There's nothing that can replace it. So that's a little bit of my educational background. So how did I get started in HIM? Well, like I said, I originally planned to become a nurse. So I literally graduated high school, came to Lake City Community College to get my AA in nursing. And my plan was to transfer to either the University of Central Florida or the University of Florida or the University of South Florida. I wanted to go to one of those universities and transfer into the nursing program, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree program at some university. But things changed. So shortly after graduating with my AA, kind of in that transition, like right after graduating and right before starting in the fall at a university, a light came on for me, and I said, listen, I don't think I want to do nursing. So I began scouring the websites of the universities that I had already applied to see what in the world can I do instead of nursing. Something just triggered in me that said, listen, I don't think I want to do nursing. I don't think I want to be a hands-on clinical person working with patients. I love patients, I love people, but I don't think that's my thing. And so I just started looking through the websites to see what else I could find that would allow me to transfer the academic background that I had, because I had a whole AA degree. And I'm like, I have to do something with this, right? And I found, well, actually, HIM found me. I like to say HIM found me because I knew nothing about it, by the way. But after searching through the websites of different universities and seeing, what could align with the background that I had, the healthcare background that I had with nursing, I found HIM offered at Florida A&M University. And since I had already applied to Florida A&M University to go into the nursing program, once I saw HIM, I saw that a lot of the prerequisites were the same. I didn't have to take a whole bunch of new classes. It would have been an easy and smooth transition for me. I jumped right in. So I was able to complete my my Bachelor of Science in Health Informatics and Information Management, again at Florida A&M University. And it was just by the grace of God that I was able to connect or to discover HIM, or for HIM to discover me. And now that I actually look back and I think on it, I am so glad that I did make that decision to change my major, to change my career track or degree track to health information. At that time, again, my program was health informatics and information management, but I'm so glad because I see now how things have evolved for me in my life and the path that I have taken in my career. And this works out so much perfect, so much more well for me than I don't think I would have been too happy in nursing. But I love my nurses. I love my nurses. My mother is a nurse. She has been a nurse for over 20 years. I work with nurses every day. I love my nurses and we need our nurses, but I don't want to be the nurse. I don't think anyone else wants me to be a nurse either. So that's how I got started in HIM. I do want to share with you all a little bit about my employment background. So that's what I just shared was my educational track, but a little bit about my employment track. So I got my first hospital or healthcare job while I was in college at Florida A&M in the HIM program. I was able to land a job as an ER registrar. So I literally worked in the ER. I went around to patients' rooms to obtain insurance information, to get their demographic information and things of that nature. So I worked as a registrar, and that was my first ever hospital job. I think then I also realized it was a good choice for me not to go into nursing because I definitely like the administrative side of things, dealing with insurances and dealing with being able to connect with patients, but not have to connect with them with that direct type of care. So I found that I did enjoy it. Of course, it was, my first gig at a hospital, and I was in college. So, and back then, registrars, for me, a college student, made great money. So I was happy with the money that I made and everything. Shortly after I graduated, I continued working in the registration / administrative or admissions assistant type of role, though I was working at a different hospital because after I graduated from college, I moved back toward home, my hometown. I am from Lake City. And so I was able to continue in my healthcare experience and just work at a different hospital. So after doing that for a little bit of time, I then went from the acute care side of things and I went into working at a behavioral health organization. And when I first started working in behavioral health, I started working as a financial counselor. So that's a fancy term for the ER registrar. I just wasn't an ER registrar at the hospital anymore. I became a registrar in behavioral health care. My title was a financial counselor. And while I was a financial counselor, I went ahead and got my RHIA certification. And then literally right at that moment, I was offered an opportunity to become the Director of Health Information Management for the behavioral healthcare organization that I was working for. So it was beautiful how the doors opened and how things began to unfold for me. So I took my very first HIM job, official big girl HIM job as a director in health information management, and I served as the privacy officer for that facility as well. That was a phenomenal experience for me. I learned so much. I was able to really apply and connect the dots with what I was doing to what I had learned in school. What we learned in school was a lot of textbook and theory and things of that nature. But I was able to see all of that really come alive and put a lot of that information into practice as the director of HIM and as the privacy officer. I completely fell in love with privacy. I completely fell in love with HIPAA. I wanted everyone to make sure that they crossed all the T's and dotted all of the I's and all of that. I got to work closely with breaches and our quality assurance department. I got to work closely with our IT department. And then I had a phenomenal team with me as well. In that role, I oversaw close to 20 staff members. And my staff members at that time were located in different facilities. So the company that I worked for was spread abroad, had multiple sites. And so throughout Florida, North Florida. And so I was able to practice or build my managerial and leadership and supervisory skills by managing or being the director over almost 20 employees. So that experience was phenomenal for me. And shortly after really getting, I would say, established in my role, I began to teach part-time here at Florida Gateway. So I would literally be at work from Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. And on Thursday evenings, I would travel from where I was living out of Lake City, here all the way to Lake City to come and teach an evening class of medical terminology. And when I tell you, I absolutely loved it. Even today, I would have to say that my very, very first class teaching here at Florida Gateway was probably the best class that I've ever had. I fell in love. So I did that for about 3 years as working as a part-time instructor and still maintaining my role as a director and privacy officer until 2018. So in 2018, more doors began to open, more things began to evolve for me, and an opportunity came here for me to become a full-time employee and be the coordinator of the Health Information Technology program. And I opted for it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm up for a challenge. I'm up for something new. Let's do it. So I came into began my full-time role here at the program, and I have been so blessed, and I have thoroughly enjoyed my time here up until this point, and I'm expecting to continue to enjoy my time here. So that's a bit of my employment background, kind of extensive, but not really. I have over a decade of healthcare experience. It doesn't seem like that, but yeah, I have over a decade, probably almost 15 years or so now of healthcare experience. And so it's been a blessing for me. It's been a blessing for me. So I'm going to talk a little bit now about my current role. So here as the coordinator of health information technology, I have the opportunity every day to inspire, to serve, to help, to encourage, to motivate. I have the opportunity to problem solve and use strategic thinking and strategic planning. And I have the opportunity to use critical thinking. I have the opportunity to use all of the experience that I've had in my life, professionally and personally, all tied up into one. I think that everything works together for us. And regardless of what the background may be, what our backgrounds may be it educationally or professionally with our employment, we can glean from those experiences and we can make them work in our current role. I found that to be so in my life. And so I have the opportunity to speak to students all the time who are either changing careers, who are very new. Some are freshly out of high school, right? Some students are second career, third career students, and they're wanting a change. So everyone that I get to encounter and come into contact with have different stories. They have different strengths. They have different experiences and different skills and different gifts that they are bringing to the table. And that I believe, regardless of what our backgrounds are, that our skills can be refined and become an asset to the health information management or health information technology profession. I want to ask you all, though, I see Melissa on, I see Ardisha, and Catherine is here with us. I want to ask you, are you all new to HIM or HIT? Are you changing careers? Is this are you fresh out of high school? So maybe share with me if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I am changing careers for the third time and decided I always wanted to be in healthcare. I tried to be a surge tech first and that didn't work out. I was too interested in watching the surgeries versus handing the tools off. So that didn't work out for me. But my nieces are also in healthcare. One's a nurse and one works in an office. And she suggested I just research the admin side. So I did that. I did what is it? The little thing that you do on the college website that tells you what they think you'll be good at.
Yeah.
On the career page. I did that. And of course it was for admin, which is what I've always done. And I thought, okay, well, I can be in healthcare and do administrative stuff, which I'm good at. So I thought I'd check it out. And I started out in healthcare management. And after talking to my advisor, switched to the health information technology class, which I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more I can do with this than the other.
Thank you so much, Catherine. I appreciate that testimonial.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Would anyone else like to share? Melissa, maybe, or maybe, would you like to share?
Sure. Actually, I started off wanting to be a nurse like you. And I don't really like sputum, I found out. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I can handle the urine and the feces, but I just couldn't handle the sputum.
Oh, wow.
So that caused me to divert and go another path. And that's why I'm on the HIMSS path. And I currently work in a HIMSS role right now. So I figured, why not advance and get my education and, try to move up.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the engagement. I love it. I wish I could see everybody. I'm like, I want to be in your presence right now, but it's all good. You don't have to turn your cameras on. But thank you so much for sharing. So yeah, I mean, as we've heard, like we all come from different backgrounds, and some of us are changing and making some shifts and changing our majors or just changing careers altogether. And that's okay. I love to hear that. Very, very seldom do I find someone, and then, I'm not saying this can't happen, but very seldom do I come across someone who like flat out knows exactly what they want, especially as early as high school. Like I don't run across that person too often. That's like, oh yeah, I want to do this, and HIT is exactly what I want to do. By the way, like even when I was in school, most of us were change of major students. Like we were either, I was nursing, I was coming from nursing. A lot of my classmates were coming from nursing. Some other classmates that I had were coming from pharmacy, just different backgrounds. But you know, HIM has a way of getting us all and like wrapping us up, right? And like embracing us and making us feel comfortable. And I like what you said, Catherine, when you said that, you know, there's so many options, there's so much that I can do. And that's something that I did not know coming in. My eyes, even now, my eyes are being opened more every day to the opportunities that are available to us. So it's not the end of the road for anybody. There's so much hope. There's so much light. There's so many avenues that can be taken. And I appreciate that we are in a space where we have choices and where we have options. So just back to what I do currently, much like, I don't want to say much like Dr. Banta. I think Dr. Banta has a lot more responsibility than I do, but we kind of serve in the same capacity, but at different institutions. So I am a full-time coordinator. I'm also a full-time faculty member. So I teach a full load in our health information technology associate in science degree program. And we also have a medical coding and billing applied technology diploma. And so I have the opportunity to steer those students and guide those students and teach those students as well. We are a very small program at this time. We have grown though, since I've come, we have grown. The class sizes were much smaller when I was first coming on board, but we have seen growth. I would still say we're still, you know, a nice intimate class size, which I do appreciate. I also have the opportunity to work a lot outside of the college. Within the HIM profession, I have the opportunity to serve on a lot of committees and serve on the board, like the board of the Northeast Florida Health Information Management Association. I believe you all are probably very familiar with NEFIMA and FAHIMA and DAHIMA. So I have the opportunity to serve alongside Dr. Banta on the NEFIMA board of directors, and then also to do some volunteer work with FAHIMA throughout the year sometimes as well. Within the institution that I work, I have the opportunity to serve in a lot of capacities on committees across our college. So I'm not always stuck or housed here within the Department of Nursing and Health Sciences. I love getting out and breaking away and getting to work with my colleagues across campus. And I love working with the statisticians and the mathematicians. I love working with the English professors and those that work in childcare. I just like getting out and mingling with everyone and seeing how everyone's doing. I'm also always all in the marketing department and doing all kinds of stuff. I just enjoy it, but it all ties in and it allows me to offer a very well-rounded perspective to my students. And I tie in the classroom when I'm teaching. I tie in a lot of my background. So I'm very grateful for the time, the years that I spent as an HIM director, because it allows me to bring in some very relevant and real situations to the classroom and to give them real life examples of things that maybe I encountered so that students can see, okay, this is what the textbook says and this is correct. And then this is also how this looks in real life. Which is still, you know, we're still gonna use textbook, but here's a story about John Doe and how we handle John Doe or whatever. So it makes for a lot of engagement, a lot of excitement, and it makes for a great learning atmosphere. So that's what I do now, everyone. Are there any questions whatsoever at all for me?
First, I just have to say thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And also, I want to commend you for your service to our professional association and let you know that we actually, most of those who are present tonight are also involved. So Katie is our technology chair. You probably haven't seen her. I don't think we typically turn cameras on that call, but Katie joins our monthly meetings, and Melissa hasn't been able to join recently, but she is our student liaison for NFEMA. And
Nice.
Ardisha, your membership, which is covered by the college, was just purchased this week. So check your inbox, and you should have some sort of invite to let you know that you're now a member as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you all for serving and volunteering.
So
Any
I have a quick
questions?
question. I do. I'm sorry. I have a question. I want to go into the informatics field as well. So to get started, what is your advice for me to get started? How to go about getting started in that field?
That's a great question. And I'm going to have to turn. What do you say, Dr. Bento?
Yeah, it is a great question. And I will be 100% transparent and say most folks who I personally know who work in the informatics space not only have health IT degrees, but they have some sort of clinical expertise as well. So maybe your surgical tech piece could kind of help you in that space, but they typically have some sort of connection to the clinical world and have some kind of expertise in that space. It could be respiratory, it could be radiology, it could be nursing, but the informatics folks have credentials in both worlds. It's
Gotcha.
been my experience.
Okay. Thank you.
Japera, would you agree?
I'm going to have to agree because I have no idea. I'll be transparent. So yes, I agree, Dr. Banton. That sounds absolutely right.
Well, thank both of you.
I have a question.
Absolutely.
So when you started your educational journey, did you gosh, how do I say it? But what was your ultimate goal? Like at the end, where did you see yourself before you ended up being in education altogether in the end? So how did that change?
Well, to be honest, Melissa, I didn't know. When I started out in college, I had no idea that I would be in this place, right? I didn't know that I didn't know anything about, I didn't think about teaching. I didn't think, even when I was going through my health information program, getting my bachelor's degree, I still didn't consider teaching. I was thinking about, okay, yeah, we're supposed to, once we get our bachelor's, we're supposed to get our RHIA and track and go be go be a director. Like that's literally what I thought. I thought that even though we were learning so much information, we were learning about options. For some reason at that time, my mind was just kind of zoned in on the road that we're supposed to take is to become a director of HIE. Like I was opening myself up like you all are. You're opening yourself up to the different opportunities by volunteering on these different committees, by being involved on the state level. But you guys are you're opening up, expanding your minds, and you're opening your eyes wide. And so because you're opening your eyes wide, wonder and light and different experiences and different exposure is going to come in. But for me, I didn't quite have that that drive in a sense that time. At the time, I was early college student. Hey, it's no, I think I got out of school. I was early college, honey. If you've been there, we're having a good time.
Yeah. And one more question also. So also during your education, how did you avoid like burnouts? Like, going through the process of, taking all these classes. I mean, I can honestly say sometimes it's like, oh no, I gotta do that PowerPoint presentation, I gotta do this, and I gotta write this paper. But how do you avoid the burnout?
So to avoid burnout, these are great questions. To avoid burnout, I can speak to that from a present perspective. Because I'm in school now, right? And working and everything else. And to avoid burnout, I would say one thing that I do is I make sure that I can see the end goal, that what it is I want to accomplish. And I keep that before me because I believe that burnout can begin to creep in when we can't quite see the finish line. For me, when I begin to kind of get fuzzy or distracted off of what my goal is, that's when I feel the heaviest. But when I keep that vision fresh, my momentum comes. I get extra wing. It's like I've been drinking Red Bull or something. I also take time. I enjoy reading. I enjoy spending time with my family. I enjoy attending church activities. I have a spiritual relationship with God. All of those things play a part in helping me to avoid burnout. Now, that does not mean that I don't feel pressure, because I do. This semester has been a challenging semester. But at the same time, there's this undercurrent of grace. There's an undercurrent of strength, and that enables me to keep going. And so I would just say, keep your finish line, keep that thing before you that inspires you and that makes you happy. Take breaks. Like, it's okay to give yourself a weekend to go do your thing, right? Like, I'm not sure on your if you're like a super high driven, have to get everything like to the T. I don't know how you are, but give yourself a break. Like, be good to yourself, give yourself grace. And those things I have found have been helpful for me. Giving myself grace, saying, you're doing a good job. Melissa, you have made it to this point. Catherine, you're here right now. Like, Artisha, you've gone through so much, but you're here right now. And because you're here, and this is how I talk to myself. You're here right now, girl, you are doing a fantastic job. If no one else tells you, I'm telling you, I am proud of you. You are killing it right now. Like, build yourself up, encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to. And those things all tied in, and they come at different times, but all of those things work together to keep me from getting burned out.
Thank you. You're so encouraging. It's so contagious.
Oh, good. I love it. We need good energy, right?
Yeah, we do.
Life is no, we don't need any bad energy. There's enough bad energy going around, and I don't want to bring the bad vibes. So show up. I want to bring the light. I want to receive the light. Like, I'm here for it all day. We need a pep talk. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for those questions. I appreciate it so much. Are there any others that you can think of? Okay. Well, it might be a short night tonight, Dr. Banton.
All right. Well, if there are no other questions, again, I can't thank you enough. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for spending the 36 minutes with us here to share your journey and answer questions. Just valuable information for our students. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all for giving me these 36 minutes. Thank you for sharing these 36 minutes with me. I value your time. And I appreciate you for showing up just to hear me chat a little bit. So thank you. You all have been inspiring to me as well. I said, keep going. You got this. You can do this. You're going to make it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great night.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night.